What you're looking at is the first breech-loaded rifle adopted by the United States Army. This is an 1873 trapdoor, and it's amazing, 150 years ago or so, this was new technology. Like, this was the latest and greatest. Today I'm going to show you how far we've come in the new SIG MCX Spear and tell you why I think this rifle specifically is redefining what a rifle should be. I'm going to take you to the range with me, show you how it did out there. First shots, we did 200 to 500 yards. Then I'm going to tell you what I like and don't like, pros and cons. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to tell you why I think this gun is so revolutionary in the rifle world. Let's get right into it. Now, of course, our freedom fighters will eventually get a replacement for the M4, and it's going to be an MCX. It's actually going to be, I think, the XM7 now is what they're calling it. So a replacement for the M4 and for the SAW. And theirs is chambered in 277 Fury. So not nearly as cool as that one, of course, but the civilian Spear LT is no slouch. Now, you have three chambering offerings right off the rip. 5.56, 300 blackout, and this one, which is in 7.62x39. So finally, a 7.62x39 option for the MCX platform. And they were very, very adamant about this not just being an AR-15 designed to work with the 7.62x39, but literally, quite literally, a gun designed for 7.62x39 to be able to run all of the different types of rounds that are offered in that specific round. To be able to reliably run all of the different types of ammo out there. So that is pretty interesting that it is designed for that round. And of course, you can see from the folding stock and some of the features here that this thing is wildly different from any AR platform out there. But I'm going to take a deeper dive and show you all the features that this thing comes in. Let's start up front here. So this one has a 16-inch barrel. You have, the 16, 11.5, and 9-inch barrel offering, which is exclusively for the 300 blackout. This one, of course, is a rifle, so a 16-inch barrel. You see right here, you have a two-position adjustable gas system. With the left side down, essentially you're going to be using that position most of the time, suppressed and unsuppressed. You got your gas block. You can see your piston through the M-LOK handguard. This handguard, by the way, will come off, so it's sectioned off about right here. So with two screws right here in the rear, you undo those, boom, you take the handguard off. From there, you have two captive screws on the other side of the gun that you simply loosen, and boom, the barrel comes right out. Up here, you have the Rockset QD mount that is proprietary to SIG, and essentially they designed this for the SLX suppressor. So whenever you attach that, this is like a clean area where it locks up. So it's designed to be put on and taken off easily because you won't get carbon buildup right here. Coming back towards the rear, you have a coyote finish, which is what they call it, but it almost has like a bronzed effect to it, almost like the 50 Shades of FDE that the Scar has, but it looks so sick, man. I love the type of bronzed color from the polymer hand grip to the aluminum lower and the handguard. It's all just a different shade. Looks pretty freaking awesome. Hey, big thanks to SIG for sending the MCX Spear out so I could tell you all the pros and cons, everything that makes this rifle what it is. But make no mistake about it, they would never even look our way if it wasn't for the community that we've been able to build right here. And if you want to join this awesome community, just click the subscribe button down below and turn your notifications on so you never miss a video from me. Those videos include every single week concealed carry tips, holsters, belts, guns, rifles, pistols, whatever, everything gun related right here in one place. I'd love to have you join. Now let's get back and check out some more features on the MCX Spear. So you have plenty of rail space there if you want to run a cantilever mount like I'm doing right here, or if you want to just run scope rings, whatever. You have plenty of space and plenty of adjustment here for eye relief, so you don't really have to worry about that part of it. I decided to go with a Warren XL skeleton mount. It wasn't exactly cheap, but I wanted something that was going to be rugged and reliable, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. Another thing that I'm happy with that is not the focus of today's video, but really made a huge difference in just my overall excitement for this entire review, essentially, is this Primary Arms ACSS Raptor. This is my first experience with Primary Arms, and let me tell you, that is some of the clearest glass I've ever looked through in my life. It has a chevron in there. It's got like the half moon above it, and this thing is incredible. And what makes it even better, it's 1:10 magnification as opposed to 1:6. So, you know, 1:6 by 24, I've used those. 6 magnification for my eyes is good to about 400. And then it just becomes a struggle. That extra magnification and the clarity of the glass really made a huge difference, man, honestly. Since we're on this side of the rifle, we'll stay here for a little bit. Of course, you have your dust cover, shell deflector, forward assist right there. You have basically ambidextrous controls all the way around. Magazine release. This is your bolt catch and bolt release. So kind of a quick lever. I honestly forgot it was there, so I didn't even use it while I was at the range. And then I got back and I was preparing for the video that we're doing now, and I was like, oh man, the bolt catch. You know, it's just like something I'm not used to, but it is very cool how quickly and intuitive this thing works for you. It's just better. It is just better. You see this curvature of the magazine, which kind of gives it away to being the AK round that we all know and love. The 30 rounds are available, but this is actually a 28 round. They also have, you know, 5 and 10 rounds available too, I believe. You have the skeletonized SIG flat blade trigger. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let me tell you, this thing is no slouch at all. The good thing is this will accept traditional AR style triggers. So whatever you decide to throw in here, essentially, it should work. Okay. So consistently hitting over to the right. Yeah, so I'm holding about his shoulders and over to the left just a little. Ooh, yeah, see that. Cool. Let's go to 300. Whew. Dude. All right, let's go to 400, dude. Holy smokes. You can see your QD mount right here for your sling. You also have one in the stock as well. This, of course, is side folding, skeletonized, super minimal, rubber butt pad on the rear, removable cheek rest right there. Of course, there's no buffer systems, and it gives you just enough padding back here and the cheek rest, of course, to be okay. You know, it's not the best, but it also is very minimal, so I do appreciate that. And you do have a little compartment right here in the bottom of the grip. So if you want to keep a bolt or spare batteries or whatever you want to keep in there, you of course can do that. Then on the left side, of course, you have your bolt release, bolt catch, magazine release, and safety selector switch right there. Ambidextrous charging handle, so pretty nice. Don't have to upgrade that because this one does a good enough job. Not as good as like the Radiant Raptor charging handle, which is probably my favorite, but it still is way better than any kind of mil spec. Oversized trigger guard. You can see there's a wide cutout in here, so if you have gloves on, no problem with that whatsoever. Really natural style grip with that texturing that they use, which is just awesome. The grip, again, no finger grooves. I don't see any real reason to change any of that stuff out, but that's just me. It works perfectly fine. It's super comfortable. So there's that. Let's break down the rifle here really quick. It's gonna break down like a traditional AR. You got 2 pins here. I notice that this one is pretty tight, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Get that thing up and take this out. So this is a little bit different from what you're used to seeing in a traditional AR, of course. You have your op rod here. You have your dual recoil springs right here. And then you have, of course, your bolt face, cam lock pin. And then over here, you actually have your firing pin latch. The book calls it a lock, but then I've seen people at SIG even call it a latch. So however you want to look at it, in the rear, it's actually designed with a latch system right here, or lock, whatever, that covers the firing pin. So essentially, once the hammer comes forward, it's going to clear this. It's going to push that off to the side, so it then can strike the firing pin, and obviously allow the round to go off. I heard from a pretty reliable source, a friend up at my local gun shop, that they use a free floated option in the past that would cause slam fires and stuff. So this way, you don't have that issue to worry about. That's what I heard. Not really sure on that, but like I said, he's a pretty reliable source for this kind of stuff. Looking at the bolt face, you of course have your extractor, dual ejectors right there, and this whole system can come apart too. Push it through like that right there. Just like that, right? And then of course you can pull this pin out and then let the bolt and everything come out there, pull the cam pin and clean it as you normally would. Put it back together, just slide it in there, boom, like that. The top of the hammer and some of the internals right there. I'm not gonna break it down any further. Like I said, you can change out the barrel super quickly. I mean, there's so much modularity to this rifle, which gives it some value there, but I don't think it's like the defining feature of this gun. I'm gonna put this together, kind of like a standard AR. Boom, locks into place. Push the pin down. Side folding charging handle has a push down pin right here. So you push it down, lift up just a little bit, it's gonna lock into place. What I like is to deploy it, you simply pull on it, boom, locks back out. So I really like that feature of the gun. And overall, I mean, you've seen what it did at the range, right? I mean, I really only struggled at 500 yards, but up until that point, not only was I ringing steel, I was ringing steel and hitting very close to each other. So I'm not going to say, oh man, I was 1 MOA or sub MOA, but 200, 300 yards, 400 yards even, I was consistently hitting in the same area. Typically when I do rifle reviews, I just want to hear the steel ring, and this scope right here kind of just changed my thought about it, because I'm like, I want to see how accurate can I truly be. Not just can I hit the steel, but can I consistently hit in the same spot? And these are just things that I'm learning as I'm doing rifle reviews, but I wanted to show how consistent this rifle could be. And for a $2,700 MSRP rifle, you would expect that, even if it's a 7.62 by 39, which is not known to be like, sub MOA type of round out of an AK, of course, but just wanted to see what it can do with me taking a little bit of extra time behind the trigger.
Right below it to the right.
Okay.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. Where'd it hit at?
Kind of like middle to the right. Bottom left.
Bottom left, okay.
Like left rib.
It's so satisfying. All right,
Five.
yeah. Now what I do want to show you here is how much this gun weighs on the scale, at least with the way I have it set up right now. All right, we're all zeroed out. Let's put it on the scale. Let's see where we're at. This is with an empty mag, of course. Whole gun's on there. Perfect. We are at 9 pounds, 4 ounces. And so the only thing I really have to add to this is my low profile vertical grip in the front and a sling. So that's probably going to add another maybe 16 ounces or so. So maybe another pound. You're probably going to be close to 10 and a half pounds once it's all said and done. And of course, then you add the ammo into it as well. So there's what, another pound and a half there. So, you know, it's got some weight to it for sure. Now what SIG claims on their website naked is what, 7 pounds, 6 ounces? And so, you know, with the cantilever mount and this, you know, another 2 pounds, I guess that's about right. I didn't know it would add that much weight, but man, this stuff adds up quick, and that's why I try to keep these things as minimal as possible, because 13 ounces here, 12 ounces here, you know, it adds up. So that's what the rifle weighs right now. We're at 9 pounds, 4 ounces, and it's no lightweight for sure. All right, so we have covered the features. I've taken you to the range. I've talked about pretty much everything I can. Let me show you the trigger here really quick, just to give you an idea what this looks like. You essentially hit the wall, and you know, you have this little hook down at the bottom, so it kind of keeps your finger, I don't know, it almost acts like a flat face. It's not a true flat face though. Let's turn the safety off. And so it doesn't feel bad. It's not like the best trigger I've ever felt in the world, but it's a little better than mil spec is where I would say. It's just consistent. And sometimes that's the key, man. It doesn't have to be super light. Consistency, though, is key. And of course, longer range shooting, having a little bit lighter and crisper trigger is definitely, you know, much needed for sure. Let's talk about pros and cons, man. And the first thing I'm going to say pro-wise, it was super reliable. I was running Tula ammo, you know, and that was primarily, this thing was super reliable as well. Kind of what I would expect, again, with a rifle of this caliber, of this much money, you know, you definitely want that. And I got to say, everything is so well placed. I mean, obviously you have the M-lock. Everything's easy to clean, disassemble. You can take the piston, the regulator out if you want to be able to clean. You can change the barrel. QD attachment up front for your suppressor, side folding stock that's easy to actuate. Every little part of this rifle was meticulously thought out, and there's nothing here that I can say, man, I really wish they would have done this, although there are some cons. And one of the other things that I think will be probably overlooked but appreciated, once you get your muscle memory used to that right there for your bolt release, it is just so intuitive, man. So awesome. Dude, that's a great feature, not having to, you know, because traditionally you'd have to kind of hold this and then pull this. Ugh, no, screw that. Pull back, charging handle, up, boom. Release it, boom. Awesome feature there. That's just a matter of me getting my muscle memory used to it and knowing that it's there. One thing I didn't mention either is you have a flared mag well here as well. And the magazines, instead of rocking them in like an AK, you just push them straight up like a traditional AR. Again, that's one of those quality of life things that you like to see, or I like to see anyways. The coloration, the rifle is just badass, dude. You know, people like to say, oh, you just love SIG, and, you know, oh, don't drop that P320, but I love SIG guns. Now, this thing doesn't come without its faults, and there are a few quirky cons here that I would like to touch on. You know, the skeletonized minimal stock, I like the fact that it's side folding, and I like aesthetically how this looks. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, But again, I wouldn't want it to be any bigger and heavier either. So, it's just kind of one of those things. It's okay, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing really great about it besides the fact that it is side folding. And then on the other side of the rifle, although I like the ambi controls, I wish there was a way, maybe there is a way where you could take this lever off. It just gets in the way of my pointer finger. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, can I live with it? Yeah, absolutely. It just gets in the way a little bit. It would be nice too if this was a 45-degree throw. It's just so much more convenient. It's a little bit quicker. If that were me and I was designing this thing, I would have thrown that in, but you know, again, that's just me. Another thing I have a concern with is this lever here. Although I like it, it feels a little flimsy, man, and I don't know if it was designed that way on purpose. I hope that's what it is. I just hope it doesn't break. You know, I hope that's not an issue with this gun, and I fear it may be. I'm just not sure. You know what I mean? So, but other than that, man, the SIG MCX Spear is revolutionizing rifles. I mean, it's replacing the M4. They're spending a bunch of money to do this. New ammo factories to be able to store all this. And you know, the 5.56, you know, was having issues with some of the new body armor out there, you know, and so they had to do something from what I've read, and 277 Fury seems to be the answer. And this gun is the answer. So I'm really excited to see the evolution of the MCX. I love the fact that they retain the feature of being able to change out your triggers. You know, the fact that this thing is so modular, you can change out your barrels. And I've never really seen that as like a super important thing that a lot of people utilize, but it's still nice to have. You know what I mean? That is a nice feature. The QD mount, the way that's designed. And also, I think maybe even an overlooked feature of mine is the fact that they have this, and I haven't been able to utilize it yet, obviously, because I don't have a suppressor yet. But this design here where it's supposed to stay clean for you, not have carbon buildup, so you can get your suppressor on and off quickly. The adjustable gas system, yeah, that little cover pops off. But, you know, adjustable gas system. The fact they built this gun to reliably run with 7.62x39 is just an awesome feat, dude. And it retains all of the controls of a standard AR while upping the game in a big way. And that's why I think this thing is so revolutionary. And I'm excited to have one of these to be able to show y'all, man. Again, big thanks to you guys. If you want to see more of what I do here and you want to support my channel, consider becoming a patron, dude. You can do that for $1 a month. Early access to the videos, special tiers where I send stuff out to y'all. Get your name at the end of the video like some of y'all are about to get right now. I'll leave that link down below. Big thanks to you guys. See you in the next one. And as always, hold 'em down. misses. That penis target is just swinging away. Let's get the competitor and try that one.